From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Good afternoon and welcome to the African Middle Eastern Division of the Library of Congress. I'm Mary Jane Deeb, Chief of the Division, and I'm delighted to see you all here today. And now let me bring forth Eve Ferguson, the Senior Reference Librarian for East Africa, who has organized this program and who will introduce our speaker. So, Eve.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, and welcome to the African Sections program, the Mass Prize 2014. Our speaker today is Ms. Alla Tkachuk, and last year Alla was here speaking about the program she founded in Kenya in 2006, the Mobile Art School of Kenya, better known as MASK. And of course, it seems like this is a very familiar crowd, so you probably know all of this information already. And she introduced the upcoming MASK Prize competition, which was first held in 2013. Now in its second year, the MASK Prize is a renowned national art competition open to youth throughout the country. Originally trained as an engineer, Alla Tkachuk holds a bachelor's and a master's and master's degrees in engineering from Kiev National University of Technology in Ukraine. She moved to the United Kingdom in 1989 and since has practiced as an artist, art curator, and art educator. In addition to MASK, she also founded a creativity top-up program, Creativity Gym in London. We, of course, want to hear something about that as an aside. And also spoke about creativity at UNESCO, University of London, the Woodrow Wilson Center, George Washington University, the U.S. Chamber, and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And she's gotten press in the United Kingdom and in Africa. Alla champions an inspirational model for how individuals, organizations, and societies can build continued success and fulfillment by putting creativity at the center of education. She's exhibited in the UK, South Korea, Germany, and Ukraine, and her artwork has been featured in the leading international press and media, including the pages of the front pages of the Times, and she was named Critics' Choice by the Saatchi Gallery in London. Alla has won international awards, including the Gold Lead Award for her portrait of a Black Prince Charles, and the Leverhulme Trust Artist in Residence Award for her artist in residency at the University of London. She's also a lifetime holder of the UK Millennium Awards Fellowship. She also teaches creativity at the Saatchi Gallery in London, and here to tell us more about the MASK Prize and this year's competition, please welcome Alla Tkachuk.
Thank you very much. I'm thrilled to be here again and to tell you more about my project MASK and one of its program, the MASK Prize. What I will do today is this. I'm going to tell you why we set MASK Prize, and then I will show you at the end of my presentation 12 minutes video of the recent award ceremony, which we just held in May in Nairobi. So what I will do now, I'll mention why we set MASK and the MASK Prize. And the reason is this. I strongly believe that creativity and innovation is essential for transformation of lives and societies. And to be successful, we all need to be creative. It is creativity that allows us to grasp opportunities and flourish. Creativity is a very strong force for improving one's employability. Employers now want people who can generate new innovative ideas, and academic qualifications is not longer enough. Creative people are great entrepreneurs and leaders, as we know. Creativity advances science, culture, and economic growth. And companies who innovate get ahead of their competition. And nations that go full on innovation today will own the global economy tomorrow. Our world is full of problems, and it is creative and innovative thinking that can solve them. And so 8 years ago, I went to Kenya to paint. I'm an artist. And I wanted to paint, for many, many years, since I was a little girl, I wanted to paint tribes in Africa. And so I went there in 2006. And as I painted my wonderful people whom I stayed in on Tanzanian border, Maasai, I decided to volunteer some workshops in their school to say thank you for their hospitality. And during those workshops, I've discovered that in Kenyan schools, and that situation is the same across Africa, but not only in Africa, that the creativity which promotes education, which promotes creativity, is very limited in schools. And so I set up MASK. And with a small group of local teachers, we began creativity workshops in schools, in 20 schools along Rift Valley in Kenya. And we used art as a pedagogy. And when I looked at my children painting, I knew that to make them artists is not my priority. But art teachers want to think creatively. And that's why we used art practices as our pedagogy. Later, we started to integrate art with other subjects and set up such programs as creativity for peace building, creativity for entrepreneurship, and the new program, creativity for leadership, in one of our secondary schools near Lake Naivasha. And then further on, as our understanding of creativity developed, we started to use direct methods of teaching creativity, and those ones Eve mentioned, Creativity Gym, those methods we use in that program in London. It's a direct method of teaching creativity. Creativity can be taught directly. Art is not the panacea. Since 2007, thousands of young people have been exposed to MASK programs. We began unlocking their potential. Some went to become entrepreneurs. We have an incredible example of a wonderful, successful entrepreneur. Artists, we have example of those who make money out of their art. Social leaders, and even a patent registering scientist. We have that as well. They learn to generate ideas. And that's what creativity, essence of creativity is the ability to generate ideas. I will mention it later a little bit in more details. They learn to identify and solve problems. Their confidence, self-esteem, and motivation grew. Their resourcefulness improved, and as did their school grades. From a small mobile unit, often carrying our learning materials on donkeys, we progressed sufficiently to be able to present our programs at UNESCO and Library of Congress, and even at the White House last year. Currently, MASK operates in 5 schools in Lake Naivasha with full-time trained facilitator. And what is creativity? And I asked myself that question when we started MASK, and I didn't know the answer to that. And since it became clear to me that creativity is an ability to generate ideas, not any ideas, those ideas which bring change. And that's why creativity is so important, because creativity brings change. In everyday life, creativity is called resourcefulness, and in business, innovation. And as you know, how important resourcefulness is. Later on, when I show this 12-minute video, we had a wonderful man who opened the exhibition award ceremony, and he spoke so well about creativity and how it's vital to a survival. Creative people think in ways that are different. They think what can be rather than what is, and that's the core difference. However, that's very important. If creativity is not fostered, as research shows, it can drop from 98% in children aged 5 to 2% by the time children reach the age of 25. It basically disappears if it's not fostered. So we're talking, on one hand, crucial skill for survival, for change, for transformation of lives. And on another hand, if it's not fostered, it will disappear. That's the kind of contrast we're talking about. There's some views, and I did experience and heard of them. People would say, well, creativity, you can't teach it. One born creative or non-creative, that's total rubbish. Creativity can be taught and learned. Now, one would think, well, how does art comes into it? What's the role of the arts in developing creativity? Well, it's quite direct role. Research shows that it is our ability to process information visually that makes our creativity possible. I mean, when I discovered that fact, it was a revelation for me. I suddenly found that link between art and creativity. And in Africa context, art is seen as a leisure. And that understanding that art leads to creativity is absence. And I think we need to build that link. It's a very vital link. If people are adept at their visual skills, ideas come easy to them. 85% of our thinking is mediated through our vision, and in children it's even higher. This is quite staggering. 85% of our thinking is mediated through vision. When a creative person makes connection, he makes connection between visual images and not analytical or rational thoughts. There was an experiment done on Nobel Prize nominees. They discovered that 89% of their discoveries started as images, not any mathematical formulas, images. Albert Einstein said that numbers and words do not play a significant role in his thinking. And this is why art education in schools is critically important. And so the Mask Prize. Mask exists since 2006. We run, as I mentioned, several programs, which are exhibitions, workshops, we call them weekly art clubs, and then creativity for peace building, entrepreneurship, and leadership. We worked in 20 schools, as I mentioned before, along Rift Valley, and we felt that over the years we haven't been making enough impact. And I asked my teachers, whom we work with, what do we do? How do we make bigger impact? And they said, we have an answer. A national art contest, competition with excellent prizes, that was very important to them, can stimulate schools to introduce arts in their activity, in their schooling. You've mentioned that we're now in the second year. Indeed we are, and it's going from strength to strength. We're very happy with that. It is open to 30 million young Kenyans, as you know, 75% of Kenyan population, which is 42 million, are under the age of 75, so that comes to 30 million. And 28 schools, 28,000 schools. It's open to 28,000 schools. Why it's so important? It provides an exciting platform for young people to practice and develop their creativity. It also promotes creativity as something important and positive and needed. Mask exhibited at the Saatchi Gallery. So I probably will need to mention you how we set it all up. So we knew that we needed to organize this competition nationally, and we had to put this package together. And as Mask exhibited at the Saatchi Gallery in the past, I went to them and I asked, would they agree to give us an exhibition space? And they said, yeah. So that was great. And then I went to Nairobi National Museum and I asked them the same. And they said, yeah, sure. Yeah, if Saatchi shows you, we will show you as well. And they gave us huge exhibition space at the Nairobi National Museum. And then I knew that for the competition to be a success, we need to have a major media partner. And I started writing to all the major Kenyan newspapers. And one newspaper, The Star, responded. And they said, yeah, we'll be your media partner. And they promised us to advertise the competition for 4 months and gave us A5 advertisement, which would come out twice a week. So that was fantastic. And then I approached judges. And amongst our judges now are major artists like Michael Greg Martin, Kenyan Kivuti Mbuno, who's a fantastic artist, as well as directors of institutions, your Washington, D.C. institutions such as Smithsonian Portrait Gallery, and its director with us now, Nick. Nick is here. Yeah. And also director of Hirnshorn Museum, Milena. I saw Milena yesterday, by the way. As well as directors of Saatchi Gallery, Kenya Institute of Education, Jennifer Wambugu, who is the head of creative arts at Institute of Education, Lydia Galavu, who is chief curator at the Nairobi National Museum. And recently we had a new judge to judge the music side of the competition, Sir Willard White, world-renowned opera singer. So we had this, we had wonderful judges, and then I went, the last step, I went to Kenyan Ministry of Education, and I asked for them to authorize this project, and they did. So here we were, we had everything except for one, we had no money. We had no money, and then I started to think, well, how I would raise money. And I went to my friends and I said, help me. And so, and they did. And here it is. In September 2012, 7 of my friends decided to take part in our fundraising event called the Great Walk of Art. And the Great Walk of Art, the idea is that we will walk between major art museums in London, and plenty of those in London, and ask our friends to sponsor us. And so 7 of us walked starting from Saatchi Gallery, going through Rollo, Academy of Arts, and the final destination was the Tate Modern. The task, the major challenge, we had to find art which was influenced, in those museums, which was influenced by Africa. And would you believe it, that 7 people raised 12,000 UK pounds, and that allowed us to launch the competition. That was enough. And so the Great Walk of Art is still going on, it's an annual event, and in October 2013, I think 15 friends walked, and we raised 17,000 pounds. And here we are. We started at the National Portrait Gallery. That's the first picture. Again, we were looking at art which reflects essence of African art, which has very domineering social purpose. So African art has very powerful aspect of social purpose. So we found those in National Portrait Gallery, and then we moved to a Royal Opera House, and that's on the roof of Royal Opera House. We looked at some costumes which were exhibited in the foyer, and then we went to Somerset House. Here we are, and in Somerset House there was a wonderful exhibition of illustration, which had very much social purpose of informing people, and then of course, drinks at the Tate Modern at the end of the walk. Everyone deserved it very much. So here we are. We finally had money, and we only needed formally to launch it. And I approached Kenyan leading radio DJ Caroline Butoko, and she launched the competition at one of her Kiss 100 FM shows in January 2013. And the result was this. Result was that 1,000 artworks were submitted to the Mask Prize of 2013. The theme for the competition was what makes me proud about Kenya. we decided to theme it like that to coincide with the Kenyan general elections and also 50th anniversary of the Kenyan independence. 95 schools participated and 15 Kenyan universities took part. The winners, I'll go through their names. 2 schools, Rubiri School, Primary School, which is in Naivasha, and the Children's of God Relief Institute. Some people who volunteered in that program sitting there in the audience. And 3 artists, James Kungu, 18, Jani Hites Shah, and Margarita Onyango. And I'm going to show a couple videos, very short, 1 minute long. I'm not going to show you online full catalog, which is here, if you want to see all 1,000 artworks. But I'm just going to show it's a few seconds winning artworks of 2015. It's quite interesting to see. That's the Rubiri School. Wonderful work. This is by Jaini Shah, 18, disabled girl from Nairobi. This is School of God Relief Institute. It's the school for orphanage. It's for orphans. And the last one was a tree. This is the winning work of by James Kungu. But before James Kungu's work, there was a piece of the tree with 53 leaves on it, and it was called Peace in Kenya. As you know, maybe you know the little history of Kenyan elections. In 2008, there was a quite big violence. And so 2013, some of us was fearing that it might end up in violence. And Margarita painted this wonderful tree with 53 leaves, each representing Kenyan tribe. And then exhibition followed too, was exhibited at the Nairobi Museum in June. And Nairobi Museum exhibition was opened by the British High Commissioner, Dr. Turner. 300 guests came from all over Kenya, including some of my teachers from northern Kenya who traveled 7 hours just to come for the opening. And some teachers I didn't know at all came from Masai Mara, again, leaving their villages at 5 o'clock in the morning on Mutata so they can come to this opening. There's a great need and interest in this kind of programs in Kenya. Because schools don't offer, it doesn't mean that it's not needed or not desired by people. It is, and so response was incredible. The big exhibition gallery which Nairobi Museum gave us was full with people. We hardly could move in it. And at the museum, during the 1 month it was exhibited, it was seen by 4,000 Kenyan young people. And then, of course, exhibition went to Saatchi Gallery in September, and it was opened by Michael Greg Martin. He is in this first picture. Maybe I'll, you know what I'll do again? It's a 1 minute, 58 seconds video. I'll just show it to you so you have some idea of the artwork and how it was exhibited at the Saatchi Gallery. Saatchi Gallery gave us 2 rooms. One was education room downstairs and one on the main floor of the gallery. And it's great validation of young people's talent. Now, some work was exhibited at the education room, for example, this one. And the director of Saatchi Gallery, Francesca Wilson, who was at the opening as well, this is Michael, this is Francesca. And Francesca said this, the UK young people who came to the gallery said that the Kenyan young people's artwork was amazing and were influenced by it. And Michael said that the prize is important for the future of East African art. And the exhibition was exhibited for 3 weeks and was seen by 87,000 people. Now we go swiftly back to the website, and after Saatchi Gallery, we moved for 4 weeks the exhibit at the Royal Overseas League in London. And it was opened by Margaret Lisude, who is the education attaché, Kenyan educational attaché, the Kenyan High Commission in London. And also, interesting, this young woman, Turia El Glau, she set up a first ever African art fair, which is very popular in London, called 154. And she came and spoke about Africans' dream of Africans' dream, and art is part of that African dream, and must be kept part of that dream. It was very interesting what she said, and of course, it was the exhibition of 2013 had 12 newspaper and magazine articles, radios and TV programs covering the exhibition, covering the event, which is huge coverage, huge. And of course, we're going back now to last year, no, this year, 2014. Now, interesting. So we changed the theme. Theme for this year is Young Africans, the Creative Nation. Now, we wanted to move from narrative topic to actually a core of creativity. And we said to young people, look, submit any artwork now, not only visual art, music, dance, poetry, writing, submit any artwork on any topic, as long as it represents some new idea. A new idea which can help you or your community or planet. So we gave them this quite a task. We explained them on the website and in the papers what it is creativity, and what famous people say what creativity is, and why ideas are so important for change and transformation. So we wanted them to understand what it is. Alternatively, if they didn't want to talk about their idea, they could submit innovative art. Again, we wanted to stress this idea of something new, different, innovative, and we said, make your art out of recycled materials, for example. Do something different. And if it's a dance, create new dance moves. Why not? And the response was great. A lot of questions, actually. Young people wanted to clarify. Eventually, the level of artwork was incredibly high. Don't you think, Nick? It was incredible. I'm going to actually, again, 1 minute. It's the online catalog. It's the selected artworks I'm going to show you, because I'm proud of it. As you see, this is from recycled material, just pieces of newspaper. If it's a blue picture, that's what they did. They cut out of blue and made a collage. There's a lot of photography, so we opened this year competition to photography as well. There's a beautiful photography came, some wonderful paintings. And this selection wouldn't show we had music, and the music is, you will love that part of my presentation. So we just had again, the competition will go to Saatchi Gallery in September and then Royal Overseas League in London in December. Very quickly, before we go into that video of the award ceremony, I'll tell you a little bit about the winners of this year competition. The third prize in visual category went to Anisma Akamar. He's a very interesting young man. He's 19. He's from Western Kenya, from very remote village on Ugandan border. And when I called him and I said, how did you decide to paint? He said, you know what, Alla, I saw once somewhere a picture by Michelangelo, and that inspired me to paint, and I want to be part of Kenyan art history. And I thought that was fantastic, the way he said it. And with the prize money, and it's about £500 he would get, or $500, he said that he will buy his grandmother a cow, which is big asset. And for his background, it's a great ambition. And the second prize, you saw maybe a boy who created a fish out of bottle tops. And he is 9 years old, from Lamu, and he's an orphan living in Lamu, looked after by a local charity. And the first prize went to this lovely young man who came up with the photograph, which everyone talks about, the young man who lifted up with the wings. Yeah. And Louis is not a professional photographer, but loves photography, and he says that I want to inspire people through my photography. That's incredible. And then 2 schools, Darubini run by, from Marseille land, Darubini is run by Esther, and Esther is incredible. I didn't know Esther at all. She came to my, to the exhibition at the Nairobi Museum last year, and that's the lady who left her village at 5 o'clock in the morning just to arrive for the opening ceremony. She is apparently incredible enthusiast of art education, and she set up weekend workshops. So Darubini, you'll see how she speaks at the opening, at the award ceremony. New Ambani, Will, what's your name? What's your surname? Will Dasman. Will Dasman is sitting there, and it's the second time I saw him, the first time I saw him at the award ceremony. And this young man went to Kenya and ran workshops with orphans, and produced beautiful sculpture out of the boxes, brown boxes. And the sculpture called The Village on My Mind, because your orphans are dreaming about beautiful housing and live in sophisticated cities. So you will see that. And the Corgi Club, this is, again, this club which is run by Catholic sisters in Nairobi, and they produce the most magnificent, sensitive, beautiful collages, and you will see them there. And the opening ceremony happened not at the Nairobi Museum this year, but at the Nairobi University at the School of Art and Design, which was fantastic. And it was opened by Manu Chindaria. Manu Chindaria is the leading Kenyan businessman and philanthropist. Also, Anthony Athaid, prominent art collector of African art, spoke at the opening, and Collins Makunda, professor at the School of Art and Design at Nairobi University. Again, newspapers gave us wonderful coverage. Do I show you? Maybe just one. For example, this is in the Business Daily, Mask Awards to promote creativity in rural schools. We see a few pictures. This is the online version, but the printed version has beautiful pictures of the winners. It's lovely, absolutely wonderful. And then, before I proceed to that video, which I did mention several times by now, of the award ceremony, I just would like to read what young people said to us about this competition. And I do receive a lot of emails, especially after the ceremony, from teachers and young people, saying me something along this line. For example, Helen, she's 20. When I saw the exhibition of the 2013 Mask Prize at the Nairobi National Museum, I could not believe that we have so many talented young people. Benson, 16, he said, it was great to be able to show my creativity and to encounter creativity of all others who participated. James actually was the winner of last year. He said, Mask has made me face to face the reality of my talent. I cannot wait to see my work in the next year competition. Now, I just received this email recently from Gift John from Kakuma Boys High School in Turkana County. He said, I really appreciate that competition. I'm proud that my work was shown. And then two teachers, Rose Chibet, I don't know her, emailed me, thank you for the Mask Prize, an excellent initiative to build talent in Africa and the entire world. And Esther, 30, she's a teacher from Darubini School, the winner, one of the winners. She said this, thank you for the spreading the world of art in Kenya and in Africa. Thank you for the award we received. The children are very happy. Even parents are now appreciating my project. And we also, Mask also noticed that not only we need to work with children, we need to work with and teachers, but also parents. And one example, I had this incredible young man who been on our program for 7 years, Joel Gatua. And then even after he finished school, he was volunteering on our program as a facilitator. But when he joined the club, weekly arts club, his mother said, and he comes from very impoverished background, they hardly can pay for their rent. And she said to him, I sacrifice my life or myself for you to join an art club? How dare you? But now he says now she's proud when she saw what progress Joel has done, and he has opened 2 or 3 businesses, including the gym, and he grows vegetables in the village. He is respected by the community. In villages I work also, young people sometimes not engaged in the community life or decision making. Usually that's prerogative of the elders. But Joel is always invited by the elders to their meetings. And they always say to him this, and he quotes, they say, Joel, come up with ideas. How can we improve our community? And I think it's really important, because suddenly a young person engaged in the decision making in the village, but also they started to understand, the elders started to understand that young people can bring something new to their lives and see the situation and the resolution to problems from different angle. And they bring new perspective, new energy, and that's important. So that engages them, engages young people. As we said, there's 30 million of young people. There's 6 million people who finished schools and who unemployed and live basically on the street. So there's staggering statistics. Now, I'm going now to show you that award ceremony. And there's a short version and there's a longer version. I'm going to show you a longer version, and we have some time. So please enjoy. Well, yeah, I know you will enjoy, and especially at the end, I want to say that that the music category was won by a rap group. And when we opened to music category, in the very few moments since the opening, since the submissions opened, we received this incredible video. You will see it. And young people who 16, 18, four of them, one is Sudanese and 4 Kenyans, their names I must read. They created this incredible piece called Children's Anthem. And when I received it, I was A, struck by their talent and professionalism, and B, I thought, are they known? Are they established group? No, they're not an established group. No one knows them. And the mother of one of the singers saw the advertisement in the newspaper and told her son to submit this video, and he did, and I'm glad he did. Here it is.
Us a vision of the future. Alla has done tremendous work, and she really genuinely believes in the change that creativity leading to innovation can lead to something extraordinary in this country. Some will be artists, some will be designers, but generally speaking, creativity leads to innovation, innovation leads to unbelievable productivity.
And we're very honored as a school that Dr. Chanani has come here to visit us, and then also that Anna has organized this event and allowed us to be the hosts of the Master Awards. Master Awards actually seeks to promote creativity among the youth, both in Kenya and Eastern Africa.
What is missing in our schools? And we found out first that the character is missing in our schools. We did not stop at that. Somebody says not character alone, character and creativity. And what is saying creativity is the mother of innovation. Our problem today in Kenya is that there are 6 million youth who are already past secondary schools and up to university. They're based in streets of Kenya. Why? because our education system does not have time for people to start thinking and creating something. So creativity is one part we want to emphasize, but the young minds, young children, when they are in school, they must have some time to think different than what we all think. And if you are creative, then tomorrow you have the possibility to survive in this world. Survival in this world is becoming very, very, very difficult. And without creativity, without innovation, it is not possible.
Thank you very much. Such wise words. Thank you very much.
Let's begin our award ceremony. The second year of the Mass Prize, visual category, third prize, 25,000 Kenya shillings, and the nominees are Michelle Ajema, she's 24, from Nairobi. Tell me why you paint.
I paint because I've been passing through some informations and some stories concerning the great masterpieces, just like people like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. So my greatest aim is being one time in the history of art. One globally.
Wow, that's an ambition. Thank you, Mrs. All best wishes to you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Alla for making this day success. It's a great opportunity.
guys, how are you? Well, I'm part of Crew Teflon. We started our crew back in 2011, in January, and basically we make music with a positive influence, as you've seen. This is just one of our tracks. It's called Children's Anthem. It was part of a Billion Children campaign. Basically, off of the track, we wanted to inspire people who would see the music video and listen to the music, so that they can go out there and help them. This is for the guy in the streets. Hey, this music on the crying on the beat. Hey, hey, this is from the moving on the road. Children of the future. Let's go, let's go. Hey. This is for the guy in the streets, pour my heart out on this music, I'll be crying on the beat. This is for them sniffing on some glow, children of the future and they crying out to you. Hear our voices, someone listen, we're the future, are we children? So protect the children, feed the children, love the children. All alone and she can't decide what to do with herself. All the tears she cried left her broken apart, but it cleared her eyes and she could finally see life is so unfair. When you're looking for help, there's always no one there, and no one cares about where she's going to sleep, and no one cares about how she's going to eat. She's growing to be a survivor with God right beside her. Men trying to rob her to sell herself, but she a big girl, how she take care of herself, expecting nothing from nobody. She always goes by the church to pray for a better tomorrow. Please, Lord, take away all the pain and the sorrow. Life is a gift, so don't ever take it for granted, cause in the end you might end up regretting. Don't ever forget it. Hear our voices, someone listen, we're the future, are we children? So protect the children, feed the children, love the children. I'm a study wolf, but thinking of the father. So even as an orphan, needed him to be smarter than all the other kids who are their mothers and their fathers. Just growing up in the ghetto, my life couldn't be so hard. She was 6 years ago in a tricky situation. My father was so good to even afford the education. This had no innovation. She had my celebrations on her birthday, due to very high inflation. Report cases of rape to the police station, so we can end this who I gave child molestation. With 2 pair clothes, and to you that ain't a big deal. That's the slim kid, and to tell you it's a big deal. But them have to run real, and they stay real, something to say. Protect the children and save the word. I said, protect the children and save the world. See, hear our voices, someone listen, we're the future, are we children? So protect the children, feed the children, love the children. Somebody listen to all our cries. Protect us children, feed us children, and love us children. Protect us children, feed us children. Protect the children.
Isn't it fantastic? Isn't it? And the names of the singers are Timmy Tim, Ben Vic, Bior, JK, and a girl called Kavi. And the last word I want to say in conclusion is this. We're now in the stage preparing for the next year Mask Prize, and we need funds. We need funds to sustain this program. We want to increase the prizes, especially for the schools. And for this, to raise those funds, we want to organize the Great Walk of Art in DC. And if you want to take part in this walk, please come forward. We do need you. And it could be a great experience for you, but also for children who will participate in the next year Mask Prize. Thank you very much for coming and listening. Thank you.
If anybody has any questions, I have a question myself. And that is, since your first experience with the Mask Prize to the second, did you have to change the criteria in any way to open it up to more youth in Kenya? I see that a lot of the winners were older, in their 20s.
Yeah. We haven't changed the criteria. From the beginning, we decided to make it under 25 and schools. And the schools will get only prize if they're not private, if they state. That's the only criteria. Okay. We see more older young people because in schools there's no arts. And somehow when they're older, they can take charge themselves and either practice more by themselves, or parents maybe help them. I had a man came from Mombasa, Indian man with his son, and his son was probably 14. And this man brought him from Mombasa for the opening, just to ask how he can continue working, because there's nothing in school. So that's why we see less young people. And but when some wonderful project of some charities take on, then we see the young participants like Clement, who is 9. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works. Unfortunately, in schools there's no art education. So,
any other questions?
I had a quick question. It says that you had 1,000 submissions in 2013. How many in 2014?
In 2014, we had about 380. It was less, and the difference is because we think the first year we sent a lot of letters from London to schools in Kenya. We took yellow pages and sent hundreds of letters to that yellow pages addresses. The second year, we didn't have resources to do that. And in the first year, they also could submit their original work by sending by post. And the second year, this year, we decided that logistics are too much for us. We've been taking artworks from Kenya to London, and it's very difficult, bulky, and it costs a lot. So we set up an online submission. Although they could have option to send it by post, but online was our preferred choice, and we promoted online submission. And I suspect not every child in a rural school has that opportunity, has that access to internet. So we have to balance what we can do with our limited resources and also open up to more young people. Any questions? Any more? Categories for the prizes and ages. We decided not to go for ages, so we had no age categories. Categories are visual arts and music for this year. Last year it was only visual arts. This year, music, or we said that videos of dance, singing, poetry reading. There were submissions of poetries. So we have visual arts and videos of everything else. And the visual arts included photography. So the bottom line, everything. It complicates. It complicates the procedure. We have so limited prizes. We have 6 prizes, and if we will have ages, we will have to basically have more money for prizes. But I also believe personally that you can't, if, especially in the context of Africa, if these children not been practicing for ever, and then they're 18, so, and then the child of the same experience, younger, that it doesn't make sense to us. And I also, when I work with young people, to me, creativity doesn't have an age, really. That's what I think. So it's the process, and it's an idea or an artwork, but age is just too insignificant for us somehow. It's the artwork, but not the age. But I know what you mean. We thought of that hard and long, but I think we decided to have no age, and I think it works for us. Yes, Will. I think we'll stick with the same theme for a few years now. I think we really want to, we might tune it, we might have those, for example, questions young people ask me, we're going to incorporate in the explanation or frequently asked questions. But I think it's such a title, and young people love to create, and I think we'll stick with that. Thank you, Will.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.